Good morning, everybody. It is a frigid Saturday morning here in Boston, Massachusetts. Thermometer is looking right now at 15 degrees. So we're gonna do kind of a special video today. Excuse me, the cold dry air is getting to me. We're gonna do a little bit of a special video today, and we're gonna go to a state park that's about an hour and a half south of the city here. And we're gonna do a little bit of like winter camping a little bit, definitely some winter hiking. We'll see if we can get away with the winter hiking or winter camping. Technically it's not allowed, but we'll see kind of how it's looking when we get there. It's also really, really cold. I've got like 6 or 7 layers on right now, but yeah, we'll see. Let's get down there. But it's supposed to be a beautiful state park, and yeah, it should be a little bit of an adventure. I've camped in this Jeep before, like slept in the Jeep. I've got a little thermal mattress kind of in the back and bundled up really tight, 0-degree sleeping bag, all that good stuff. But yeah, let's just see where the day takes us and see what we can do. This is very like ad hoc. Yeah, let's make a little adventure of it. Thank you for joining me as always. Another thing I probably should add, the reason for today's like super last minute, super unprepared trip is that it's been a pretty eventful week in Boston here, unfortunately. For those of you that don't know, I work for a tech company that's headquartered here, and unfortunately yesterday morning we all woke up to an email basically saying that, you know, almost 1,700 people had been laid off. I think 1,000 of those almost were just in Boston, which is sad. It's unfortunate, but it's kind of the reality of the you know, the industry that I happen to work in. But yeah, it's just kind of the reason. I mean, I didn't lose my job personally, and I'm very grateful for that. I'm still employed there, but a lot of people that I know did. I have a friend that lost her job. And it's tough. It's tough in today's economy with everything going on, and it's just really sad to see. So a lot of instability, a lot of chaos in the market, and really in the world right now. There's, you know, wars all over the place. There's political trouble. There's you know, economic trouble. So it's just a crazy time to kind of be alive. But yeah, that's kind of the reason for this, is just getting out of the city for a minute. You know, I'm always trying to talk about why that's important and, you know, why that's healthy, and, you know, I always feel better once I get out there. But yeah, that was the reason for kind of the last minute, very unprepared trip this morning in dead winter in Boston, in Massachusetts. But yeah, again, just figured I'd explain that a little bit, and yeah, we'll see what we can do and have a little fun today, and see if we can relax. We have made it. We are pulling into the east entrance here, and I just checked the forecast. It is not going to get any warmer, so we're in for a frosty one here, folks. But yeah, I've never been here before. Let's just go drive around a little bit and see what we're dealing with. See if there's any actual rangers here, or anyone who's actually kind of patrolling the place, and then we'll decide what we're going to do. right, folks, well, we had some success. So I drove back in a little bit. It looks like there are some people at the ranger station. I don't know who they are, but it looks like somebody's got their truck parked there. But other than that, the park is pretty much completely empty. I found like some equestrian trails, and I was able to kind of drive back in them, and they were open, surprisingly. All the other like little side access roads are kind of like gated off. I guess they don't want people running around back here in the winter, which makes sense. But I was able to stash the Jeep behind like some snowbanks, I guess, but you can't see it. It's actually a really good little spot, and I kind of stuck it back in there. So first little step of stealth camping is complete. So we got a good spot. I'm gonna go walk around a little bit, get an idea of what's around here, see if there's any pumps for water. I brought some water, but not a whole lot. Yeah, there's supposed to be a couple little lakes around here, so let's just go get an idea of our bearings, see if we can find some deadfall around for firewood. And yeah, let's go explore a little bit. All right, so I found the campground that's open. I think it's like May to November. It's definitely closed right now, but it's funny because I got a parking spot pretty damn close to it. Yeah, we'll see. But I mean, I'm sure these look like pretty nice camping spots. There's a little lake right here. I'll show you here in a minute. I'm sure this is very nice in the summer, but they definitely have it closed up and kind of locked down here during the winter months. So, not bad. It's all gated off, obviously, but there's a bunch of spots where there's fire pits and places where we can warm up our food and everything. Pretty tucked away, out of sight. Again, I don't think that there's like a whole lot of activity or anyone really patrolling or anything. Plus, it's obviously not a big deal to have a little bit of fire to warm up your food. We're gonna go back to the Jeep, and I'm gonna show you guys how I've done this in the past and kind of camped in the Jeep, kind of a free stealth camping, if you want to call it that. I have a 2017 Jeep Patriot, high latitude. I'm about 6'4", and I weigh about 200 pounds, and I fit in there pretty comfortably. But yeah, let me show you guys a little bit about how I set up for that. I don't know if we're actually gonna stay here tonight, just because I think it's gonna get really, really cold, and I don't have my portable heater. But I'll show you guys how I get set up and show you that it's possible, really. And honestly, in most vehicles, if you have any kind of an SUV, anything that's long enough, you're pretty much good. You can put the seats down in the back. But yeah, it's just like a fun thing to do, and it, you know, spares you the mess of having a tent and having to worry about all that. And with stealth camping, a lot of it you can do for free, which is also very nice. But yeah, let me show you guys how I do that. So just to show you where I'm kind of tucked away here, this is like a parking lot right outside the campground, and it looks like they got like a basketball hoop or something over there, but it's off of like an equestrian road. So it's kind of tucked away, and it's not off like a main road where people are gonna see you. Plus, they have this very convenient pile of dirt or snow or whatever it is right behind me. And I'll show you, but I just kind of, what I did is I pulled in very, very quietly, and I kind of just came around this way. And then as you can see, the Jeep is just kind of tucked away right behind that snowbank. So by no means a perfect hiding spot, but you know, you're covered on one side, you're off the main roads, you feel kind of secure. Generally speaking, when you're doing something like this, you want to make sure that like you can get in and get out reasonably easy, but you want to make sure that you're like mostly out of sight. Again, it's not like it's a big deal or anything, but some people are more sensitive about it than others, and some places are more sensitive about it than others. So just keep that in mind if you're going to go out and do this kind of thing. So. All right, we're back at the Jeep. Just give you guys an idea of how cold it is and why this is a bad idea, that you shouldn't do things like this. I was out exploring that little area for maybe 20 minutes, like not even 20 minutes. And the hose for my Camelback froze completely shut. Like I literally have no water now. I mean, I don't think the whole bag is frozen through, but I mean, literally, like nothing's coming out of there. The line is like frozen. So not ideal. But yeah, we're not gonna be staying here tonight. I definitely did not prepare for this like I should have, but I'm gonna show you guys how it can be done. I do have an insulated water jug, like an igloo thing here in the back. You can kind of see that right there. And that will keep water from freezing, at least for a while, especially if you get some heat going in the vehicle. But yeah, I was barely outside for 20 minutes and my only source of water froze. So yeah, but let me show you how I get set up and how you can do something like this, and then we'll see where the video goes from there. All right, so first order of business here, as you can see, it's kind of a mess. My apologies. But we're gonna get everything out and we're gonna start getting the mattress situated down first and make sure the seats are down and everything, and start getting it kind of comfortable. Now that we've got it cleared out, you can see that there's a decent amount of space back here. So we're getting started. It's definitely not enough space yet. Again, I'm 6'4", just over 200 pounds. So a pretty decent size human being, and I take up a lot of space. So the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and put the passenger front side all the way up. So as far up as it'll go here. Next step, let's get the mattress going. All right, and for this is just a Japanese floor futon mattress. You can look it up. I got it off Wayfair. It was like 40 or 50 bucks, but it's really comfortable and it does the trick. Go ahead and just get this in here. And next step, we've got a thermal sleeping pad. This is what I take when I go backpacking. It's heat reflective, and it's an extra little, like, it's not even an inch thick. I mean, it's pretty thin, but it reflects heat off your body and adds a little bit of comfort. So we're gonna go ahead and add that on top of the little futon mattress. All right, next order of business. Most important part, 0 degree sleeping bag. It is about 11 degrees out right now. It is really cold. But technically this will keep you alive. Alive does not mean comfortable. I've slept in some really cold temperatures before, and you are not comfortable, but you will not die. If you really want to be comfortable in like really cold temps, you're gonna get like a -20 bag, a -30 bag. But this is a pretty good bag. It's a 0 degree bag. It is synthetic goose down. I don't buy goose down products. I think that they're kind of obscene and kind of cruel to the animals. So everything I use is synthetic, and it does the job. But we'll go ahead and get the sleeping bag in there so we'll be nice and cozy if we decide to stay. Next order of business, we've got these little inflatable pillows that are nice. Again, these are ultralight backpacking pillows, so they're just inflatable. go ahead and get these blown up. I've got a couple of them, but it's nice to have something to lay your head on, and it's just that added level of comfort that helps you sleep. Next order of business, just to get that added layer of comfort. Again, you don't need to go this crazy, but when you're sleeping in a Jeep, like, you want to try to be as comfortable as possible because it's already not off to a great start. I have a lot of camping equipment. I've been, you know, camping and hiking, kind of an amateur outdoorsman for years, so I've accumulated it. But this is a Trekology inflatable sleeping pad. It's like the one we already laid down, except it's obviously you blow air into it, and it's a little bit thicker and adds that extra layer of comfort. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. All right, well, our little home is starting to come together here. Obviously it's not the Ritz-Carlton, but you know what? It's comfortable and you could sleep in it and it'll keep you alive in some pretty extreme conditions. The beauty of having like a nice long Jeep like this is that one, I can fit, but two, it just gives you that protection from the elements. If you really start to freeze, even if you like, say if you don't have a good enough sleeping bag or whatever it is, you can obviously turn the vehicle on and warm the car up a little bit. There's a couple downsides. One of the downsides is that my windows are not tinted. I just have never seen any reason to do that. I am not a criminal, so, and I don't have like eye problems or a doctor's note or anything like that, that makes it necessary. So, yeah, again, so you don't have a lot of privacy, but if you get far enough off the road or far enough out into the wilderness, your privacy is almost guaranteed. Like, no one's gonna come mess with you when you're basically in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, let's keep kind of getting set up and I'll show you how I fit in and kind of get comfortable. So let's take another look inside and kind of see how it's looking now. So again, not bad. The sleeping pad just barely fits as well as the sleeping bag. I just barely fit being a tall person, but if you're average height, I mean, you'd be perfectly fine in this. So you can see I've got a bunch of the bags and other camping gear, my tripod and stuff. You can kind of stack those to block out the window over here a little bit, so you get a little bit of privacy. Another thing you can do is just like take some blankets, honestly, stuff them up on the front, the very front of the vehicle, the front windshield, and get some privacy that way. But again, if you go out this far and you go to places where people are not expected to be, your privacy is almost guaranteed anyway. So another thing that I like to have, I consider it essential, is one of these little emergency weather radios. So you can buy these offline. This is more of an expensive one. I got it off Amazon. I think it was like 50 bucks. But they're kind of an essential, especially when you get out in a place like this in the middle of nowhere where there's like zero cell service. I mean, there's literally no cell service. This taps into the National Weather Service emergency broadcasts. So if there's a storm coming, anything like that, you'll know offhand. Another thing that's helpful, it's just a normal radio as well. It's good for morale to listen to the radio, I think, and it's cool to get out in the kind of rural areas and get some of these, like, I don't know, local radio stations. I think it's kind of nice, but it's better than having just silence in the vehicle. It's kind of comforting in a way, and you know, not like 100% essential, but it is nice for morale to have little things like that that make you comfortable, and especially the emergency weather aspect of it is really helpful as well. You never know what's going to happen. I've been out in some crazy storms before, and they can come out of nowhere. So thank you, National Weather Service, for that.
East winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming east after midnight. Seas 1 foot or less. A chance of rain and snow until midnight. Then snow and rain likely after midnight with visibility 1 to 3 nautical miles.
Another essential when you're out here for a couple of reasons. One, gotta have some bear spray. One, definitely for bears, but two, I mean, you get coyotes, you can get wolves, I mean, who the hell knows? But it's good to have. It's a nice feeling to just have it around you. But especially like you don't want to play games with bears. They're in Massachusetts, they're in Michigan, where I used to hike all the time. I go up to Maine regularly, they're there. New Hampshire, they're certainly there. So you never know, especially once you start like cooking food or if you have food around, a bear can smell that up to a mile away. So make sure you've got your bear deterrent just to be safe. It is not expensive. You can go to any like sporting goods store, like a Dick's Sporting Goods, Walmart sells it, you get it offline. But it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So make sure you got your bear spray. Now that we have our little home set up, go ahead and take another look at it. Time to go ahead and get in and get cozy here. So let's go ahead and jump in. The first thing I'll say about this, it is not the easiest thing in the world, especially if you're a big tall guy like me. You gotta climb in, really get back in here. There's not a whole lot of room. All right. Not bad, fairly comfortable, especially with the Japanese futon mattress and the couple layers here. But you'll see there's not a whole lot of headroom, so you can't, get up very easily, but you can slide out. But that's kind of it. Let me close the hatch behind me and I'll show you how it looks. There you have it, folks. Again, I've done this several times in the past, so I know that it works, but nice and cozy. You feel pretty secure in here. Obviously we got the Jeep on right now, so we've got some heat going. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's not bad. You get your little radio set up. I mean, you wouldn't be spending much time in here unless you were like right about to go to bed. But it feels pretty good. I'll kind of show you how it kind of looks from a first person perspective here. The only downside, or one of the downsides, is that you cannot open the hatch from the inside. So you can kind of close the hatch behind you with your hands, but when you get out, you have to go through one of the doors. I guess I could look into see if there's a way to like mod it so that I could open it from the inside. But yeah, I don't do this that often, so it's probably not necessary. You can just climb out the front seat here, or climb out one of these side doors. But yeah, I mean, you feel safe, you feel cozy in here. You're definitely safe from the elements within reason. I mean, the cold will get in. It's definitely not insulated by any means, but yeah, if you got a 0-degree sleeping bag and you got a bunch of blankets and like a nice coat and thermal underwear, all that good stuff, you're pretty much good to go. Again, way too cold tonight to be doing this. I ran off without my portable heater, which is like a little battery powered heater that kind of keeps it reasonably warm in here. But yeah, we're not gonna do it tonight. I mean, it's 10 degrees outside, so figured I'd show you guys how to do this. And yeah, anybody can do it. It's not hard. You just have to have a vehicle that's like just long enough, and it's perfectly possible. Okay, I'm actually being completely serious right now. I laid down and I really got tired all of a sudden, so it's not bad. I guess I was up early this morning to get out of the city, but it's pretty comfortable actually. It feels very nice, especially with the heat on. It's not much different than a bed. So there are ways of making it comfortable, and it feels pretty nice. So yeah, give it a try. So a couple more essentials before we kind of wrap the video up here. Obviously you're gonna wanna have a water source, right? So most campgrounds will have like pumps, not in the dead of winter like this, but most campgrounds will have pumps that you can use and you can fill up. I recommend something big like this. This is an igloo, insulated, kind of like you see out at like a football game or something. I believe that's 5 gallons, and 5 gallons tends to be plenty, at least for like a couple nights. But you wanna have enough water around, you wanna have water to cook, and water for everything you need, especially for like dehydrated food, which I'll actually show you now. Normally when I go on trips like this, I just bring like these mountain meals. Let me pop you in here real quick. So yeah, these are just dehydrated meals. This is the beef stew. It's really good actually. Like, you think it would taste bad, because I mean, it's at this point, like, this one's 3 years old just because I buy them in bulk. But they're good for like, 20 years. Like they literally will taste the exact same today as they will in like 2040. yeah, there's nothing wrong with them. They actually taste good. They warm you up, and they kind of make you feel better. So they're not huge on calories, but you feel like you're full. So that's nice. Obviously, if you want to cook these the quick way, we've got jet fuel. This you hook up to a little contraption, and it literally is just like a little gas stove, boils water really quickly. You pour the boiling water into the packet itself, and you eat it directly from the packet. Boiling water, recommend getting something like this. This is a Stanley kind of little miniature cooking pot. It holds 20 ounces of water, and it helps it actually boil really fast, which is nice. Comes with 2 little coffee cups, so you can make like instant, freeze-dried coffee in the mornings, which is nice. But yeah, a lot of little things you have to think of. Another essential that you definitely don't want to forget about is the teepee. I cannot tell you how many times I've ran off on one of these little trips and forgotten to bring that very essential component. So don't forget teepee. You don't want to be using leaves and whatever the hell else you can find out here. It's just not pleasant. So. Another thing you definitely don't want to forget anytime you're out in the woods is a water purification kit. So this is inside here is a gravity bag. Kind of pop it open a little bit. I also have some tinder for starting a fire, which is actually just like dryer lint. So I keep all that in there. And this is a Life Straw gravity bag. So, I mean, even like the world's crappiest water, you can pretty much drink it if you filter it through this. I've used it to drink out of like swamps. I've used it to drink out of like dirty rivers, and I've never gotten sick when I'm using it. So definitely nice to have, and can save your life potentially. Again, not expensive. Get it from any sporting goods store. Get them off Amazon. They're available. But always have something for water. Always have something for fire, and you can make it for a while. So. All right, well, folks, that wraps up the video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope that like some of this was helpful, but kind of the main point is really just to show you that, anybody can do this. Like if your vehicle's long enough, I mean, you're gonna probably need some kind of an SUV, even like a small SUV. Like I said, I've got the 2017 Jeep Patriot High Latitude, which is kind of a longer hatchback style vehicle, but, and I just barely fit in there. So when you're tall, it's definitely a little more difficult. But it's not hard to do. Like all the materials are pretty cheap to get. You don't even need like the nice camping stuff like I have. It's all very doable. The big thing is definitely the 0-degree sleeping bag and like the water stuff, stuff to get a fire going outside the vehicle if you need one. And but yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. It's fun to go and do this stuff, but obviously be careful. Make sure you're like obeying the law. Obviously, I have to say that on this video. It's a little bit of a disclaimer, but make sure you're following all the rules and regulations when you do stealth camping. It's definitely, don't cause any trouble. But it's nice to do, and it's free, and it's a cool thing to kind of do, to kind of sneak off and get into the woods, and you don't have to mess with the tent, and you can kind of make it work. So thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe. Pretty soon I'll do a video where I'll actually stay out all night, but we're gonna wait till it's at least above 30 degrees to be doing that. So thanks again for watching, and you folks have a good one. Bye-bye.